So whatever happened with, I know when you went to prison for a couple years from like, was it 82 to 84?
Yeah, all right.
And then during that time, Barry was still working for Pablo. So when you got out, can you go into like how Barry tried to reel you back in, and you know at that point he was already working as an informant?
Well, see, I mean, you have to kind of protect your flow. So Barry knew better than to step across the line and to work with her. But when he was going to Miami, of course, he was meeting Pablo's people, Lito, Achi, and Marta Ochoa. She's a lovely woman. I'll tell you about her. She'd meet me every Wednesday night at a restaurant. See, I forget, Rusty Pelican out on Key Biscayne, and we go over the books. Just tell you how much money there was involved in it. And so their pipeline was slow, 2 or 3 weeks coming back. And so they owed me the money. And about $7 million I stopped. I'd say I'm not doing any more. I had a guy here, Jerry Wills, was flying for me also. So I had 2 airlines running, and all I had to do was people buying cars and fixing them up. So 6 of them a week. And I didn't ever want to see those cars again. That's another story. So I said, Marta, you know, I said, you owe me $7.5 million, and I'm not going to go anymore until some money comes in. No, Roger, it's only $7 million. I said, bull, it's $7.5 million. I got right here. And we had a drink, and she said, no, it's $7 million. I said, Marta, I mean, we had an argument. And she said, you remember Lito met you at the Holiday Inn in a yellow Cadillac and gave you 2 boxes of money last Wednesday. I said, that's right. I am so sorry. I forgot that, Marta. So you forget that somebody gave you $500,000.
You forgot?
Yeah.
God.
That's how much money was coming in.
God, Roger, that's crazy.
That just tells you how much money there was falling on me.
Oh my God, 500. You know, when I hear you talk, man, the craziest thing in my mind is the level of trust and just the, you know, people can say it's, you know, criminal activity, but just the respect, because the average person, I mean, people don't know how to act when I see guys getting robbed for an ounce of weed, a half ounce of weed, you know, a couple pounds. So, yeah. I mean, at the level you were dealing at, that level of trust and dealing with people at that level, it's mind-blowing, but at the same time, it shows a different type of mindset, how everybody operated back then.
I knew I was going to do what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with it at all. I say I'm an outlaw, but not much of a criminal. That's what I say.
Yeah.
So I just, yeah. But I will tell you what happened to Marta, that she let Griseldo have 150 kilos.
Was it Griselda Blanco?
Yeah. And Griseldo had her garroted and her little son killed, garroted, wrapped in plastic and put in a canal there in Miami.
Damn.
I mean, and I just loved her. She was such a sweet. She come meet me in a nurse's uniform with a stethoscope in her pocket, kind of hanging out like she just got off work.
Wow. So Griselda wasn't no joke down there in Miami, huh?
Oh, she was horrible.
Did all the guys really show up, and they said they used to show up and give her respect, and she was kind of like the godmother down there?
I didn't know her, thank goodness, not at all.
Okay. Whew. Wow. Yeah, because I've just heard through different documentaries and stories about her with the Cocaine Cowboys running that whole operation down there. And then you said, so for Martha with the 7.5 million she owed you, then you said at that point you were tying back into Barry Field?
Barry was flying for me. I had Barry flying loads, and I had this guy, Jerry, flying loads. Okay. So I just slow them down. All right, slow down now. Okay. You know, I furnished airplanes, all the expenses, and it was my contacts, both ends, with Barry's in Mena, Arkansas. So that's why I slow down. Because if I'm paying them and I'm not getting paid, I'm losing twice as much money when something does happen.
Mm-hmm. And so when you met back up with Barry, can you go into what happened? Because apparently you guys met at a restaurant, and Barry wanted you to, you walked in, you can kind of see what the crowd was in the restaurant.
Well, anyway, I went to prison for 2 years for marijuana. And I was charged with a continuing criminal enterprise.
CCE.
Carries life in prison for possession of marijuana.
Wow.
That's what they charged me with. And I gave up untold millions to get that charge dropped. And I pled guilty to 400 pounds of marijuana and some tax evasion, and I got 35-year sentence. But all of it was parole, probation, except 5 years.
Wow. Damn, that much probation?
25 years special parole and 5 years probation. The old judge said, "Now I want to see if you want to." Said, "I see you lived on the farm and fed the hogs. I see you come out here to California. I guess you wanted to live high on the hogs." And Mr. Reaves, is this your passport? Or is it one of ours?
Oh,
He was wonderful. Judge Terry Hatter here in Los Angeles. So I think he'd have took me home with him, but the DEA was screaming for. He was laughing at it. But anyway, they charged me. I was number 41, and John Gotti was number 42. Ever charged with that terrible?
Wow.
It carries life.
Yeah.
For possession of marijuana. And when I got out, I got before signing. My wife stopped and I said, "Look here, folks. I just did 33 years in prison for possession of marijuana. And the first sign I see when I come down the road is, 'Relax, we deliver your marijuana to your house.'" That's how stupid, what a messed up world we living in.
Wow.
Our president should, when he's paroling these people, he should let everybody in prison for nonviolent drug offense out today.
Yeah.
Every one of them. There's no good in putting them people to work, building cars or whatever, railroads, whatever we need.
That's right.
Not just walking the halls in a prison being looked after, costing $100,000 a year just to keep them. That's too stupid.
So when you were in there for the two, was that when you were in Lompoc during that time?
No, I went to Pleasanton with the ladies.
Okay.
400 women, 200 men. And later on, when okay, then I'll tell you, I got out of prison after the 2 years, and I'd heard Barry had turned. Somebody, the lawyer or something, said, "Watch out." So I was watching, hadn't been out long, and I was watching the news, and there's Ronald Reagan's blue eyes on television looking right in it. You can see it today. So we have absolute proof that the communist Sandinista government is in the cocaine running business. And there's Barry's plane on the runway, bellied in. Oh, C-126.
God.
And I thought, my guts went to ice water like, oh shit. Oh boy. So the phone rang just a few minutes later, and Barry, how you doing, Roger? I'm doing all right. He said, "I'm coming out tonight. I'll meet you in this French restaurant down here at 9 o'clock. I said, "All right." So I came in at 9 o'clock, and I looked around. Everybody in there is 35, 45 years old, maybe a little bulge here. I thought, "You son of a bitch." And he's leaning backside, and he's gotten fat. And I walked up to him, and I said, "Are you wired, Barry?" And he said, "No, I'm not." I said, "Well, I'm not going to talk. You do all the talking." So he went to telling me how that he had been protected and how that he was a scapegoat for the gentleman in Mena, Arkansas, and the CIA had been unloading him, and his protection went away from him when the shit hit the fan down there with, what was it, Colonel, anyhow, what was that, Iran-Contra.
Iran-Contra, Oliver North?
Oliver North and Iran-Contra. All that blew up, and it was too big for Reagan to stay quiet. Mm-hmm. So he told. So Barry had gone down with Jake Jacobson, a DEA agent from Alabama. I liked him. And they had brought back 1.5 tons of cocaine and bellied it in. On takeoff, he just pulled the power and bellied it in and on the runway. And they called for Pablo Escobar to bring another airplane up. So you can see Pablo Escobar and 2 or 3 of the generals carrying the cocaine on their shoulders. I'll give you that book. Right there it is. I forget what page. It's not that book. That's mine.
Okay.
But the one, Kings of Cocaine.
Okay.
show him with stripes, and he put a camera inside the plane and a camera outside the plane, that downed airplane. And he took over 1,000 photographs, click, 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 click. He said he's afraid they're going to hear it. And then after they got the 1.5 tons already unloaded from that crash plane into the other big turboprop, he went back in and took the cameras out and put them in his pocket. He was gutsy now. I ain't lying to you, because they would have chopped him in little pieces. He wouldn't even, him and that DEA agent would have been killed instantly. Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
He might have killed him a piece at the time. So anyway, so now he's working for the for the feds. And so he just says, Roger, I was facing 3 life sentences, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And he put his hands up over his eyes, and the tears ran between his eyes. He said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just couldn't do it. And I said, are they all DE agents? And he said, every one of them. I said, bring your head honcho over. So he brought a nice fella over, Jake Jacobson, tall fella, and I drinking my Chevy Regal there, and we had several together, and he just says, now you can come down tomorrow to Miami, first class with Mari, or I can take you down tonight in chains. And if I take you down tonight in chains, the only place you're going to ever see your family again as long as you live is in a federal penitentiary visiting room. Which is it? I said, I'm going first class, mister. So they flew away, and he wanted me to tell on Jerry Wills, the fella in California. He said, that's, you got to tell on him too. We don't know who he is, but he was flying a load every time Barry was, because the Colombians was telling Barry that. So I went up to see Jerry, and I remember Jerry came out, and I vomited. My stomach and I just kept vomiting in the gutter, like, what on earth am I going to do? I'm not a snitch. What am I going to do? Life in prison. And Barry's done told him like how many tons and tons of cocaine. So the next day, Mari and I flew down to Miami, and I went to see a lawyer to see if maybe I can do something. I got a lot of money, but what can I do? So I went to see a lawyer, and he was supposed to be the best in Miami at the time. But I didn't realize that his partner had just been blown out of his shoes for representing a snitch.
Oh, shit.
So I told him what the situation was. He said, well, I'll represent you for, he was on a treadmill, talking in his suit, sweating. He said, I represent you for $600,000. I don't talk to snitches. I said, I'm not a snitch. That's what you're talking about, mister.
Wow.
I said, no, man, he said, you go in there and tell them one thing, and you don't tell them everything. They will convict you of what you've told them. You got to tell them everything that everybody has said. God. Otherwise, he said, it's like being pregnant. You either are or you're not. I said, well, I'm not. He said, well, take your medicine. I went to see another lawyer, and he told me about the same thing, much nicer. So I was supposed to meet 3 or 4 o'clock. I was supposed to meet Barry and the entourage at the courthouse there, the federal courthouse there in Miami. And I went there and got there ahead of them. It was big marble pillars going up, half big around as this room. I kind of got behind one of them, and I saw the 3 cars coming, brand new Ford LTDs. And they had 2 guys in the front with their machine guns looking like this. And then the back one had a couple of guys in the front seat and 2 on the back seat between Barry's in the middle with their machine guns looking like this. And the car behind. And they were just right there, and I stepped down 2 steps and I hit the top of that car. Wham! I said, see how easy it would be?
Yeah. Yeah, you've been done already. Yeah.
Oh, I was scared to death.
Oh, man.
So I said, well, I'm having a little trouble getting me a lawyer. I'm going to have to, couldn't get one today. Well, use my lawyer. Get him tomorrow. He's a good lawyer. I'll do it, Barry. So Mari and I went, and it was on my birthday, 1985, January 26th. So that night, I love there's a restaurant, I don't think it's closed anymore, La Festival in Coral Gables. It's a Michelin 3, I reckon it's good. So we went there to have supper, and Barry knew I liked it. So he came in with Debbie. She was old looking pretty. So we had dessert together. And I hugged Barry's neck, and I said, Barry, I'm leaving. But they're going to kill you. I said, friend, they're going to kill you. If you do this, they're going to kill you. Now let me hug you goodbye. We have a big bear hug, and I left, and they killed him. I left, took my family, went to Brazil.
Oh, shit.
I was trying to get, Ochoa owed me $3.5 million, and I was trying to get it and talking to this guy, Mario, and they were promising this and other. So, boy, good news, great news, great news. Oh, what, Mario? They killed Barry Seal last night. And you know, it made a sickness in my stomach. And I cried. And I went back and told Mari and Miriam, and they cried. So that's how we love Barry, even though the biggest snitch, and now my life sentence is gone. There's no more hiding.
Oh, so that's, yeah, 'cause he was the only witness.
The only witness against me is dead.
Wow.
So, but I couldn't enjoy it. A friend has been murdered.
Yeah. God, that's got to be crazy.
It was sad. Yes, it was. I love Barry, and I know that he was like the scapegoat for those people, and they left him holding the bag, and I wish he left my name out of it.
God, man, you just would have just not, yeah, because those aren't the type of people you want to cross, man. They don't let, that's not going to go away.
You ain't gonna, you can't put me and my family and all my family and all my fortune and you just can't do it. It was not even him to think of it. How did he think he was going to get away with it? He was arrogant.
Oh, man.
He thought he was smarter than the DEA and the FBI and all of them put together. And people do that when they make a lot of money. They get to thinking that they must be smart. They just had a streak of good luck, is what it is.